suitable for general family viewing.
Hello there and welcome to Beyond the Limit with me, Muthoni Maina. Today we're here at the Nairobi Early Intervention Center and I'm with one of the proprietors of the institution. Yes, we will be getting to know the inspiration behind this amazing center. So karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, do briefly introduce yourself to us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Hilda Kajuju. I'm one of the directors of this institution, the Nairobi Early Intervention Center. We're a group of parents with special needs kids who came together to have a school or an institution that would be able to cater to our children's needs and get it all under one roof. Because the challenge was that you find that for each service, you are getting it in different places. And sometimes it was like a trial and error that we were doing in different places. So we came together, got trained personnel as well, and then we are able, that's how we formed the school. Yes.
Before we get to delve
formed in 2017.
In 2017.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get to delve deeper into that, what inspired you to be behind that push, or rather being among the proprietors of the institution? Having a special needs child myself, had walked in the shoes of a special needs parent. And the inspiration came from getting a place and having peace of mind that my child is getting the help that they need. They're getting, they're in the care of specialized and trained professionals and in a space that I'm comfortable with, that I don't have to get him from one place, take him for speech therapy, for instance, take him to a different place for occupational therapy, then have to deal with school as well. Yeah.
So when this idea came up, I jumped on board because it made a lot of sense for me. And I knew that many parents who are in my shoes were also experiencing the same challenges. Yes.
So what's your child's condition?
My child was born with a hearing impairment. And he was also born with an ear deformity, which is called ear microtia. So because of that, he is what you would call deaf. And he had to get an implant for him now to start hearing. Yes. So
how did you get to cope with that whole load of information at first as a parent?
It was hard. It was very hard because when he was born, as I said, he had ear deformity. With the ear deformity, he also has a few other issues, like not issue per se, but like he was born with one kidney, which we found out immediately when he was born. That's when we also found out about his ear deformity.
Yeah.
So around that time, I was still worried and wondering, how can this be happening? What do we need to do? So when we did the tests, that's when a little bit is when the ear is forming, that's when the kidneys are forming.
Oh.
Yes. So that is why when the left side, when it didn't form completely, the left kidney as well didn't form. But that has not been an issue for him. Yes. So getting help was you would get scant information, we'd meet the doctors, yes, but because of the deformity, then we couldn't place a hearing aid on that particular ear. And the hearing aid that would be put on the right side was not as effective. So, you keep researching, getting to know what happens out there for such kids. Though they're rare cases, but they're still there who have the same kind of condition. Yes.
So you'd like to tell us that at that point, the help that you were getting was not enough for you to understand what is going on and how to handle it?
In retrospect, yes. Because the help that we would deal with, initially, of course, the doctors were worried, can we see how one kidney is functioning? Yeah. So we had a lot of tests back and forth to just ensure that the kidney that is there is fine, it's okay. Then we now got into the ear, because I thought it was a small thing that they could fix the ear. So then they told me, you need to check and do a hearing test to actually ensure that he can hear, and we're not just dealing with the deformity. So that's now where we came in.
So, Kajuju, as with time, was it hard for your child to get to intermingle with other children out there, and was it hard for the family as well?
I'd say for him, because he didn't know he was different, he was just living his life. Yeah. But however, for me, because and the rest of the family, was a bit of a challenge, because then you'd find that he used to be very hyperactive, and he would bolt to people's houses, find any door open, he rushes to the house and does whatever it is he wants to do. So you find that not so many people would understand, and they would just brand him as if he's a deviant child. So because of that, it was a bit hard. But then the family, we were just trying to, like, when he goes out to play, there's someone taking care of him. So again, he's not bullied. He's not. He doesn't get into danger because he could not understand dangerous situations. And then also talk to the people who will be willing to talk about it. Like, please don't judge him. He has a problem, so just let him play. But I find that the kids that were around him were equally welcoming to him. The adults are the ones who had a bit of issues that, he's different, yes. Yeah.
And with that, would you say that the awareness in the society is rather wanting, because people do not want to understand that this is happening because it hasn't happened to them? So they are very defiant of that. They're like, apana, not today. So how did you get to handle such a situation? Did you have to explain yourself way too many times? Yeah. Yes, the information in the society is wanting, because I would also say in my case, up until I got a child with special needs, I had never envisioned that. I'd never envisioned myself in that situation. So when I got into that situation, then I knew automatically that I have to be this child's advocate, whatever happens. So when we'd go because I'd never leave him. Like, we're going to the mall, we're going anywhere, or going for trips, I'd want to be with him and show him and introduce him to different environments, even if it was hard. It was a hard task, because then he won't sit still, he will run away. You go for shopping, he's running away. You go to people, he's running away still. So because of that, I would explain to people until it got to a point that I'm living my life. We will live our lives the way he is. And if anyone is bold enough to ask, then yes, I will mention it to them. Yes. So with that, did you have to learn sign language?
Unfortunately not, which in my honest opinion I should have. But that knowledge and that insightful message, like from a doctor or an ENT, that if this is not working, please get an alternative, because then he still needs to communicate. So if that was communicated earlier, it's something I would have done. It's something I would advocate for any parent with a child who is also nonverbal, because at the end of the day, they get very frustrated because they're not able to communicate to the people around them of their needs. So if they can learn sign language, then so be it. There are other also technologies that have come up, like AAC, augmented alternative communication. So you use gadgets. So if going back, yes, I would have done the sign language.
So you use the AAC to communicate?
We did a lot of picture exchange programs. So you have pictures and of daily activities. So initially that's how he learned how to to communicate. So if he wants a cup, show him a photo of a cup. Just keep saying it's a cup, but also show him this is a cup, this is what a cup does. So he would show us now using the photos. Yes. And signs, some signs which are not complete sign language, but signs that the school would understand, and we would also understand at home.
So with you being among the proprietors of this center, what are the critics that came with it?
The criticism mostly came as on the parent side, as a parent, because most people I would interact with didn't understand what this journey was all about, or didn't understand why it's different for my child and many other children. As a director, not quite, because we're getting things done. We're giving a solution. We are also creating awareness that it's okay to have a child who has special needs. It's okay to show them the world. It's okay. We have a center that we can love your child. We can teach them. We can take care of them. Yes. So as a director, no, not quite. On the parent side, socially, yes, there's a lot of that.
So how did you get to handle that?
I got a team of people who love us unconditionally, because we'd gotten to a point that we would not be invited for birthday parties because my son was all over the place. He will run around, he will mess up, he'll even cut the cake by himself. So we had a lot of people isolating. They won't tell you outrightly, but you'll see, oh, they had a birthday party, but you were not invited. Yes. But God blessed me with people, friends and family who accepted us and who feel like it's really not a big deal. But much of that had to do with me, my acceptance, and my showing them he's okay. He's just a human being like your kids, Yes.
So for how long did that whole acceptance process, take for you to say, by they know this is how it is and I'm going to deal with it because there's nothing much that I can do about it?
Well, I'd say because he got implanted at age 5. At age 5 or towards going to age 5, that's when now even most people got to know that my son has a problem. Because I talked about it. We were planning to go to India for the operation and have the gadget implanted. So most of them were even shocked that he has such a condition.
It's after 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so for me, acceptance didn't take too long. Because from the hospital now results, back then when I was being told, your child has this and this. So I had to Google a lot. I had to ask questions a lot. So at that point, for me, I had accepted. Now I had to deal with my family members who were like, what are we dealing with? What is this? How do we support him? Is he fragile? Is he, will he get a normal life? Yes. So for the rest of the family, it took a bit of time, say about 4 to 5 years. Yes.
Okay. Now it's time to take a very short break. We will be right back with more as we get to know better about the whole journey of the Nairobi Early Intervention Center. To keep it right here.
You are watching.
Despite being visually impaired, he is a jack of all trades. It is our quest to find answers on how to take care of children with special needs and those with disability. You do not need to see musical notes to understand music, but rather to have your soul feel the vibe. Welcome back to Beyond the Limit. Yes, we are still here with Kajuju. Now, before we took a very short break, you said that at times you were cut off from birthday parties because of your son's condition. So when it came to the learning process in learning institutions, how many schools did you have to take your kid to, in and out of this school?
I had taken him to 3 learning centers. Most of them were treating him like it was a daycare center, so they just leave him somewhere to doodle, color, and not engage him much, because again he's too much to handle. But then I felt they needed the fees, so they just had to accept him and keep him as a daycare center. So when I followed up and seen, you know, what plans do you have, what goals are you achieving with my son, and found that they really don't have a plan for him. Now that is also something that necessitated to having this institution.
Yeah. So most of those institutions were more of money oriented.
Yes.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
so tell us about the journey of this institution from 2017. Like, I can just imagine you are a whole congregate of proprietors there.
Yes.
So you have to now sit down and devise a plan and a structure. So how was that startup?
Basically, we didn't have like a laid out plan. We were just parents who knew we had a need. We had these special needs kids that we didn't know exactly, like we were at the end of our roads, each of us.
Yeah.
So coming together was one of the things that gave us a sense, at least of, you know, you feel that someone else is going through the same thing you're going through. So we started this journey in 2017. We were at Woodley, a small place in Woodley, and we just had our children who are 5 in number. So based on that, we also now headhunted some special needs practitioners who knew exactly what is required to, you know, for the intervention for the children.
So while headhunting, what was the criteria that you got to look at?
We needed someone with experience dealing with the special needs kids, someone who is trained, you know, for starters, because we didn't know what to look, but we knew that that was the basic. And someone, through our interactions, someone we felt that could understand our children. And with the little interaction that they had, they were able to do an assessment and, you know, just tell us that your child is at this point. These are the things we will be working on. So which I later came to learn that those are called IEPs, Individualized Education Plan. Yeah. So you're given a plan for your child, that because the learners are very different. They all have different capabilities. So because of now with the IEP, even as they start to do the therapies and the academic work, we have somewhere you're starting. Like you can actually see, I want we were teaching your son how to read, for example. And before reading, there are so many other things, how to brush their teeth, because those are things for them come a bit later. They have to be taught how to do like normal activities of daily living. When I get up, what happens? There's a plan to that. And it's not just haphazard, that I'm not, you know, like I'm not just doing anything that comes to mind, but there's a plan to it. So with that plan, that's when now we kept building onto it. And because the person had been in the field for quite a long time, he was able to also get now practitioners who are occupational therapists, the speech therapists, the physiotherapists, and then they're able now to come up with a plan that works. We call it the NAIC model. We include the therapists plus the academic work. So you find that most schools just do the academic work. If you need any assistance like the occupational therapy and any other therapy, you have to seek it out of the school environment. So for us, we felt that what worked most was marrying the two, having therapies as a daily activity for these children and the academic work as well. So all under one roof, yes.
So how did that work out? Was it a beautiful emergence when you got to marry the two and you people were like, now this is it? And how many timetables or other systems had you guys come up with, and then you get to scrap them off? You're like, no, this one is not working, now this one is working.
I'd say it was a beautiful outcome, because the issues that we were dealing with, attention span was very short for the kids. Hyperactivity, you could see that even now with the plan and what they're doing, that they're reducing. That, oh, actually my son can sit for quite some time and they're able to do a bit of work. The other director also would see that, oh, my sons have, this has happened. We were dealing with a lot of, you know, even running, they couldn't walk properly. Things like concentration, which you need to really work on. Things like what do you call it? As part of the attention, just understanding what you're expected to do. So over time we realized it's actually something that is working. So with the education plan, with the IEP, then it kept changing. After every term, you would add a few things, tweak things here and there that eventually would work. So I would say it was an ongoing process. It wasn't cast on stone at that point. So now we kept including things that, actually, because for me, having my son, like I had never envisioned that he will study like other neurotypical children. I had already gotten comfortable with that fact, that I just want him to be independent, that he can handle himself, he can comfortably take care of himself, go to the toilet, shower, change clothes and that. But then now when this happened, you could actually see a new hope for him and now the rest of the children, that they can engage in academic work positively. And for me, that was a joy that, yes, that came with it, that I'm really happy about, and also now to share with the rest of the parents. Yes.
Great. Yeah. So as we walked in here, we got to see parents bringing in some of their kids here. But something that I got to see, and it was quite a miss, is missing the father figure aspect of it. You get to see that it's only the mothers most of the time that take the first step. I don't know, is it too hard for the fathers to come forward?
It is, because most of our parents and those who are very actively involved in their children's well-being are mothers. The fathers, very few now, are actually at the forefront and advocating for their kids' rights, advocating for their inclusivity for their children. But mostly you find that the mothers are the ones who take up that position, because again, I feel once you get that child as a mother, you feel you're their advocate. No one else really understands what you're going through. Even your spouse may not necessarily understand to the level that why are you spending all this time, why are you doing all this and putting all this effort, because it's not easy. Even having to come here, there's a lot of parent participation that goes in, so that even what we do in school, you're able to replicate at home, so that then that consistency is what will work. So you find that most the dads, they still have a long way to go. There are those who are very active and proactive, but most of them have a long way to go. Yes.
And with those that are proactive, does it get to have a special build-up with the child, seeing that their dad is there?
One of the challenges with the special needs children, especially those we have here, are the social skills. But also one thing that works is love therapy. You may not do much for them, but just love them. So the moment they feel I am loved by, these are my family, because eventually they will know these are my family members, this is my dad, this is my mom, you find that the child is confident, is gaining confidence in their activities, in themselves as a person. And I would also say that they're able to achieve a bit more.
Yeah. So with that, how many kids are there now here? You started with 5.
We started with 5. We're now at 26 learners. There are some that have transitioned to mainstream schools. There are others who have been assimilated into the workplace. So we keep having different learners coming in for different needs. Yes, but the bulk of the learners are the young ones who we're doing early intervention for, because early intervention is very key to now the success and the successful implementation of the rest of the activities in the later years of the child. Yeah.
So what are some of the future plans that, as a appropriator you have for this institution?
We have grand plans, to say. We are planning to have like a vocational center for learners who are now have gone through the system, because then you teach them how to be self-sustaining, but then what? Are there employers who are willing to take up these kids? Are there industries ready to take up these children? So for us, we want to have that end-to-end model, such that my son, who is here and who has gone through the curriculum, he's now doing a DEXEL curriculum, which I'm very happy about. So once he's done with that, and he gets to the point now he's old enough to do something else, how are we able to connect him to the job market? How do we train him to be able to be good enough, like anybody else out there, and connect them to the job market? We also find that there's a gap in the transitioning. We will train your child and you're ready to mainstream them, but then there's no the support he gets out there is not as much as what he or she has been getting in the institution. So we're also revamping that section of it. Yeah.
So what's your advice to parents out there? Some have not fully accepted the fact that their kids have autism, have CP. They've not fully embraced that fact. So what's your advice to them, and also the reason as to why they should also enroll here with this institution?
My advice to any parents with a child with special needs is acceptance. Once you accept, your mind is opened up to seek solutions for your child. And if you don't seek them early enough, unfortunately, later on in life becomes a bit harder for even the child to assimilate into the community, because that's the essence. We are training these children to be independent and assimilate into the community, because we are not always going to be there. And so I need to train this child so that if they are left to work or do something else for their own, they are able to take care of themselves and they're able to cope. So acceptance is key. Get a support system. Come here. We all have parent guardian sessions that we talk about the challenges we are going through. We talk about the challenges that are there in the families, because you find that there are some families that are branding that particular family that, we don't give birth to such kids in this home. So those things really weigh you down. You're not able to make the next step of to get help for this child. And more so, I would say at the Nairobi Early Intervention Center is you'll get everything under one roof. You have that plan that we have that will be able to track your child's progress, that will be able to track where we are going, what we're hoping to achieve. So I'd welcome any parent with a special needs child. Visit us. Just come and see our facility. Come and see how our learners are doing in class, at the therapy room. What activities are we involving them in? Because we start from 8 o'clock for the day scholars. The activities they do, then they go to class, then they go for therapy, then there's play. There's a lot of laughter and enjoy. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Kajuju, for your time. Now that's all that we had for you here on Beyond the Limit with me, Muthoni Maina. Sayonara.